Y'all can kiss my ass. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. This guy's kinky already. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get into front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. I'm turned up with my...
Hey.
Okay. All right. So would you guys like to see another debate between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris? Would you like to?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would like to see one for entertainment purposes. But I mean, this isn't about entertainment. This is about two people running for the president of the United States of America. So for that matter, no. It's going to be more of the same.
Yep.
All right. Well, a rematch between the two 2024 presidential candidates is up in the air following Tuesday's debate. The Harris campaign called for another one, but as of late Wednesday, Trump is still undecided. Let's hear Trump's comments on a debate rematch.
We won the debate according to every poll, every single poll. I think that are we going to do a rematch? I just don't know. And no, we're looking at it, but when you win, you don't really necessarily have to do it a second time. So we'll see.
MAGA is just as delusional about Trump after this debate as Democrats were about Biden after the Biden-Trump debate. You remember there was still some Democrats holding on, there was hope. I'm going to ride with Biden. I don't care if he's a corpse. Weekend at Bernie's, all of that stupid foolishness they were spewing.
I remember.
That's how MAGA is now in regards to Trump. Trump, he don't got it, bro. There's nothing he can do against the vice president in a debate. Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Oh, actually, to debunk what Trump said, nearly every poll indicated that VP Harris won the debate. Trump says a fighter who loses always immediately asks for a rematch, and as a jab, to the Harris campaign. So there are several debates that are on the table being offered by NBC, Fox, and others. Meanwhile, viewership numbers show ratings soared for the first debate between Harris and Trump. Nielsen reports that more than 57 million people watched the showdown across the 4 major networks and 4 cable news channels. There is nearly 10 million more than the initial tally for the June debate between Trump and Biden. While surpassing that number, the final total for the Harris-Trump debate is unlikely to break records. The most watched debate, however, was that between Trump and Clinton. So Trump is like you said, entertainment purposes. And that Hillary-Trump debate happened in 2016, which drew 84 million viewers.
And let's be clear, the VP's team is asking for a rematch because if you're not doing press, why not debate in front of the American people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not debate against your opponent so they can look clearly and see, this is a clear contrast. I know who I'm going to vote for.
Well, and people got to see who she was, especially for people that don't know who she is, especially Trump supporters. They got to see who she was. And like you said, how many people? 59 million people?
And I can't believe there's still any undecideds out there, by the way. I really can't believe that.
So meanwhile, former President Trump and his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, they continue to push the questionable claims about Haitian immigrants eating dogs. They are eating the dogs. Senator Vance appears to double down on the claims. Let's hear more from Vance on that.
No one has spread false claims. What they've said is that a small migrant community, 20,000, so it's big for the city of Springfield, but it's small compared to all Haitians in the United States of America, that small migrant community has caused a lot of problems.
Again, the city of Springfield spokesperson Karen Graves says local leaders have got no credible reports. There are no specific claims that pets are being harmed, injured, abused, or even eaten. Now, there is a report out there about a woman from Ohio who ate a cat. She's not Haitian, and she's from Canton. So let's go ahead.
What if she's lesbian? Plenty of lesbians eat cat. That's the whole point.
Stop.
All right. So also yesterday was 9/11. And President Biden, former President Trump, Vice President Harris, and J.D. Vance, Senator Vance, they gathered in solidarity at the World Trade Center to remember the victims. Now, Senator Vance, he talked about what that ceremony was like. Let's hear more from him.
I'd never been there myself, and of course, an incredibly tragic day in our country's history, a sad day, but also a really beautiful ceremony remembering those that we had lost. And you just can't help but think magnified 3,000 individual stories of lives lost, of families torn apart. And it's also, you talked about this earlier, but all these grandkids who never knew their grandfather, never knew their grandmother.
It shouldn't take, those type of situations to see them be bipartisan, but I won't get too much into that. If you did, speaking of bipartisan, if you did see a picture of Biden with a MAGA hat on, it was not. Wow. It was not AI. So Biden did pose with a red, white, and blue Trump 2024.
But y'all worship Biden. That's who y'all worship. Why would you do that at a time like
That's
this?
what I said. Why would
Why
you
would you do that at a time like this?
He the family member that you got to keep off Facebook. Yeah, the
We're
reason
showing
why
solidarity.
it's still dumb.
No, you.
Yeah,
what-
that was
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you
They
why.
should have smacked that hat off.
Morgan,
about-
don't you come with no excuses for that, man.
I'm not coming with an excuse. I'm gonna report what the report says. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you the substance. So with that being said, yeah, he was there to mark the 23rd anniversary in Shanksville, Pennsylvania of the 9/11 attacks. Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates posted the photo on X. He said the president spoke about bipartisan unity following the 9/11 attacks, and Biden actually gave his hat, the hat that he had on, to a Trump supporter, and to show solidarity, the Trump supporter gave Biden his hat. So Biden put the hat on. No,
It's a big difference between wearing the hat of a Trump. Now, if Trump would have wore a Kamala hat and then Biden wore a Trump hat, that would make more sense. But just a random supporter, I didn't see I didn't see that picture. I only saw the picture of Biden with his Trump hat on.
It doesn't even matter. They're gonna take the picture and what they're gonna do. They're gonna send it all over the place. Most of the people are not even gonna hear what Morgan just said.
It's gonna be in a
say
Trump ad.
Biden wore a MAGA hat. That's what they're gonna say.
Please get Unc off Facebook. That's what that's giving.
Yes.
He don't need to upload the selfies with the eye.
And keep him in the basement. Okay.
Oh no!
Keep
all right,
him locked away. All right.
Now he needs to just stay home.
Can I say one other thing about the so-called Haitians eating the pets, or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You know, soon you're gonna see a video of some group of people, cooking a dog. It's not gonna be real, but just know that you will see it floating around social media, and people are gonna say, "Hey, this is what we were talking about."
Of course.
We're just in the age of propaganda.
Yeah,
I hope y'all
course.
know that, right? And then and most of the propaganda is created by people.
Yeah, of course.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, House Speaker Mike Johnson, he's pulling a government funding bill after GOP support collapsed. A vote is scheduled for today, but over a dozen Republicans withdrew their support for the proposed legislation that's tiered to voter ID laws. A stopgap plan would keep the government funded into March. If a funding plan is not passed, the government will shut down on October 1st. So that's going on. Let's make sure that we can continue to fund our government before we, get into a November election. So, but yeah, that's your front page news for the 6 a.m. On the 7 a.m. We're going to talk about the Taylor Swift effect and whether or not that really makes a difference in this election.
Oh boy. All right, we'll get into that next. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
What's up? What's up? So as you mentioned yesterday, Lauren, Taylor Swift is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris for her presidential run, and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, says he's incredibly grateful. In a social media post just after Tuesday night's debate, Swift said she'll be voting for Harris because she fights for the rights and causes that she believes in. Reacting to the news, Walz encouraged the pop star's fans to follow her lead. Let's hear those reactions from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
That's the type of courage we need in America to stand up. We've seen it out of those Republicans who were at the DNC. We've seen it out of women who would like to have their own personal lives kept personal, but are forced to go out there because they nearly died because they can't get abortion services in a pregnancy. And now you have somebody like Taylor Swift coming out, making that very clear. This would be the opportunity, Swifties.
This will be the opportunity, Swifties. On Instagram, Swift went on to say that Harris is a steady-handed and gifted leader, and that we could accomplish so much more in this country if we were led by calm and not chaos. Now, Swift appears holding a cat in the post and signed it. Taylor Swift, childless cat lady.
It's funny how with celebrity endorsements, if the celebrity that's powerful, like a Taylor Swift, endorses who you want them to endorse, celebrity endorsements are great. But if the celebrity endorses somebody you don't want them to endorse, celebrities need to stay out of politics. Of course. Celebrities don't need to be involved in politics.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like she was going to say something last night, but she just had said Kelsey, and the crowd was cheering. But she was just like, well, the election's coming up, you need to vote, and then they kind of just redlined it. But she was about to get into it last night, but they cut her off beforehand.
Well, Trump doesn't like it, so he spoke with Fox News, and he says he's never been a Swift fan anyway. Let's hear Trump's comments on the endorsement.
She's a very liberal person. She seems to always endorse a Democrat, and she'll probably pay a price for it in the marketplace.
Now, those comments obviously came before the VMAs, so I'm not sure where she's supposed to pay for it in the marketplace. But
Trump would love it if she had endorsed him. I mean, he wanted the endorsement so much that they did fake AI endorsements, and it was interesting to hear J.D. Vance say that nobody wants to hear from an out of touch billionaire celebrity when Donald Trump is out of touch billionaire celebrity.
So speaking of Trump, and he is Florida. Anyways, let's get into this. Comes at the same time that the Florida Democratic Party is organizing in full force for the Swift Eras tour in Miami. Like, this is full on strategy as early voting begins in October. So retired University of South Florida political scientist Dr. Susan McManus, she says Swift's post on social media reaches younger voters, especially in Florida. Let's hear more from her.
It's not Hollywood, but it's music stars that are really bringing them in. And a lot of their lyrics and so forth are very political, as you know. Older people don't get why and how this is changing. One thing that we know about Democrats in some of these key states, and including Florida, is that they absolutely have to bring in the younger voters to win. But let's focus on something else that's very important and also very important in Florida, the Taylor Swift endorsement. But do I think this is the end of the story? Absolutely not. Look at how many twists and turns we've already had, and you can't predict what will happen next week, let alone tomorrow, practically.
So Taylor Swift is scheduled to perform in Miami on October 18th, 19th, and the 20th. And early voting happens in Miami-Dade County on October 21st. So that's pretty cool how they're strategizing in that regard. Meanwhile, University of Texas San Antonio political science professor John Taylor, he says that celebrity endorsements are as old as elections themselves, and he believes they don't make much of a difference. Let's hear more from him.
Taylor Swift endorsed Phil Bredesen in 2018 for U.S. Senate. He lost. Oprah's endorsement of Obama in 2008, was she the one that ultimately swayed people to vote for Obama and get him the Democratic nomination? Probably not. You ask the question of the average voter, what's affecting your vote the most? The economy, it's about reproductive choice, about gas prices. It's not necessarily about what does Taylor Swift think.
I believe he's probably right. I think people make their own decisions, based off their needs and their interests. One thing I do like that Taylor did, she didn't tell people to vote for Kamala Harris. She just told people to vote and told people who she's voting for. That's what I think we all should do. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I want you to go out there and do your own research and make your own decision. I told you who I'm supporting, but not because I want you to support them, just because I vote my interests and Kamala Harris speaks to my interest.
But as a young 18-year-old that might not deal with the same things that a lot of adults are dealing with, and they love Taylor Swift, they follow Taylor Swift, they go to her concerts, they like to see what she's eating in her life. Cool factor. If somebody that says they're voting for somebody, I think a lot of those people will be impressionable.
Maybe, but I would encourage you to do what Taylor Swift told you to do, and that is go do your own research.
Of course.
Taylor said, I did my own research. And neither of the reasons I'm choosing to vote for the vice president, but you do your own research and you vote for who you want to vote for. I feel the same way.
But them kids that are willing to do anything for Taylor Swift tickets and are Swifties, I think are going to follow exactly what she's doing.
I agree with you, Envy. Switching gears just a bit, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he thinks independent support of Donald Trump is waning following the debate. In an interview with Fox News, the former independent candidate said Trump had an airtight argument for his presidency, but he wasn't able to make that case to the American public. Kennedy said Trump got distracted during the debate and will likely lose support from independent voters. He added that he still supports Trump, but Harris clearly won the debate in terms of her delivery, polish, organization, and preparation. So
I'm confused where he's all over the place.
He just looking for a job in somebody's cabinet.
At this point,
I wish whoever was interviewing him would have asked him, well, with that said, why are you still choosing to support Trump?
Yeah,
I would want to know. Like if he didn't do well and he's going to lose support of independents, why are you still choosing to support him?
Right.
And just for the last one, here's what really matters. The Congressional Black Caucus Annual Legislative Conference is underway here in Washington, D.C. The event, it focuses on issues impacting African Americans and the Black community across the world. It's running from the 11th through the 15th. And of course, I will be in attendance speaking to your legislators, thought leaders, and citizens who are meeting to promote political, economic, and social initiatives in the Black community. So if you guys want to pull up and, actually make something shake instead of just, not you guys, but I'm just saying the American people, You know what I'm saying? We're not going to sit here and complain. We're going to actually get, meet and converge and talk about it and, get with those legislators and, get our policies in place. So, yeah. But that's your front page news. You can follow me on social at Morgan Media, MorganMedia. And for more news coverage, make sure you're following the Black Information Network. Download that free iHeartRadio app and visit BINnews.com. We've got all of your exclusives coming from the CBC.
All right. Well, thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
All right. Now, when we come back, NBA baller DeMar DeRozan will be joining us. He has a new book out right now, Above the Noise, My Story of Chasing Calm. And we're going to talk to him next, so don't go anywhere. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.